finally, the news about the round table, right? So we've got Melody the Bard, Reverent the Guardian, the Professor, the new mechanologist hero, and Ira. I didn't expect to see Ira here, but, right, we finally got some news and some spoilers and a release date for these 4 new Blitz decks. So we'll go ahead and we'll read this together, right? On to the round table. So this is my first time reading the article. We're going to read it together, right? We're going to uncover all its secrets together and watch the trailer together. Well, not as much information as I was expecting, right, but still pretty cool. I'm curious, I don't think we can get it to where it's legible. Also, China combo, check it out. Hey, it popped up, so plug's a plug. Around the table, it's probably going to be in the article, so we'll read the article, right? Okay, so Legend Studios is proud to team up with the Professor, one of the world's leading advocates of social gaming, to get you round the table, enjoying great games with your friends, family, and fellow gamers. Flesh and Blood Round the Table TCC X LSS contains 4 ready-to-play Blitz decks designed for the fun-flowing ultimate pit fight multiplayer gameplay, featuring over 100 new cards, a 24-inch rubber playmat, and all packaged inside a Techlo Industry 1,000 count storage box. For equivalence, right? Because I have 1,000 count storage boxes. Give me a sec. Not that you can see, but straight away I'm curious about how it's going to fit, right? So we have a playmat, which I'm going to assume is probably bottom or top. Then we have the 4 Blitz decks, so I guess horizontally, but then there's still going to be a little bit of empty space. I mean, there's obviously stuff to stick in between, or you could stack them on top of each other and then have the playmat folded up maybe, but it's rubber, so I'm going to assume it's going to be rolled and probably placed again on top over the decks. But either way, it's cool, right? It's all encompassing, right? And reusable, which is a big thing that is really awesome to see when it comes to game design. I mean, imagine if someone came out with a booster box that you could turn into a storage box, right? Yes, it'd probably cost a little bit extra, but if you just fold it right, then it sort of rewards buying displays. Again, for a game like Flesh and Blood, where displays are pretty cheap, right? It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, where were we up to? Play as the Professor and build a high-tech mech suit with the brand new Evo equipment card type, the first ever equipment to start the game in your deck. Joining the festivities is Melody, a bard, who'll soon have the entire table singing along to her songs. Reverence, a chivalrous, chivalrous guardian who will make sure everyone has a smashing good time. And Ira, who, well, is still on a quest for blood, truth, and vengeance. Yeah, kind of a weird inclusion. I guess just the new player-friendly aspect is probably why she's included. Okay, so the Professor. It's an honor to collaborate with the Professor, one of the world's greatest... This is the same thing, isn't it? Right? Okay. It's a shared vision that brought the Professor and Legend Studios together to create this project, and is why Round the Table, TCC, I'm just going to say Round the Table, will only be available from local game stores around the world. Well, no, people will sell, right? So it's gonna hit everywhere. This is going to be pretty big, especially because they are all new cards. When crafting the Professor card itself, we can look past the Professor's favorite class, mechanologist, to embody his character. We all knew that was coming, right? Represents around the game, community inclusiveness, fun. We see the Professor at his best moments and most powerful when surrounded by his fellow gamers, right? So the more people who are sitting around the table, the more powerful he gets. Professor Techlo Vossen. I always say E. Right, so any relation, right? Father, uncle, son. Could be weird. Okay. Evos cost 1 less to play for each opposing hero. You may play Evos from your banished zone. So that seems pretty strong, right? Seems pretty decent even in a normal setting, right? Not UPF, right? -1 to your tech card, especially if there's some pretty crazy stuff in Bright Lights. So we'll probably see him in normal Blitz as well. Okay, and then we have the Evo Techloscope. If you have base... It's the normal Evo stuff, right? So you can transition into this. Your Techlo Blaster attacks can target any opposing hero. Can you not normally target any opposing hero? I'm curious about that. Can you only target adjacents or across from you or something like that? I'll need to look up the rules for UPF. Energy Matrix, Techlo Blaster costs 1 less for each opposing hero. Scattershot gains +1 for each opposing hero. And Rapid Fire attacks gain go again. Well, depending on the main hand weapon, right, just the Evo Blaster plus Rapid Fire might see play across different mechanologists. And then, yeah, even -1 per hero, still just -1 is going to be pretty decent if it's, you know, a 2 proc weapon, a 3 proc weapon even, right? A 1 proc weapon would just be crazy. I would assume it'd have to be 3, right? Because UPF usually is centered around 4, right? So making it free when you're playing with a full party, so to speak, is probably the go. And then, again, a lot of these sort of set up for PvE, but the fact that it's saying opposing hero, I guess, is a little bit interesting, right? Would you include people in your party in terms of PvE setting as opposing? Melody is probably going to be the more suited one for PvE if there's any hints at PvE. Apocalypse Automation, Evo upgrade. This attacks up to X target opposing heroes, where X is the number of Evos you have equipped. So if you have 4, you can attack 4 people. That's pretty crazy, right? Plays only if you have 1 or more. So at the very least, it attacks 1 or up to 4. Does it do anything else? Each hero is attacked simultaneously. Heroes defend in the clockwork order. Damage is calculated per hero, right? So it's 6 per, and then, you know, minus plus whatever you add to it. I am curious though. So if you add reactions to it, right, I assume it buffs against every player. So that's pretty insane, right? Just in terms of card economy. Mechanical Strength. If you upgrade, this gets plus X, where X is the number of Evos equipped. So it's up to a +4. 3 for 5 with no other effect, and it's only 1 pitch, up to a 3 for 9. That doesn't seem that great, right? What comes to mind? Alpha Rampage is not a great card, but that's technically a 2 for 9, right? And this is, in most cases, a 1 for 9, plus you've got other ways to discount through Mechanologist and other ways to generate resources. I don't know. Seems just average in terms of a card, but it is rare, and that's obviously Majestic, hence why that's pretty great. Not so much use in non-UPF, right? Because it's just 3 for 6 at that point, so it's not huge. Okay, then Melody, sing-along. Melody is the life of the party, knowing just the right notes to hit to get the crowd going. The songs create a plentiful flow of cards, energy, and action points that keep the tempo of the game upbeat and entertaining for all. You'll soon have everyone around the table singing along to her merry tunes. However, all great performances must come to an end, and Melody's final act is sure to leave the crowd speechless. Well, that straight away reads as you're laying low, buffing everyone, supporting everyone, making sure people don't pick you to target, and then you just blindside them with your final act, right? Similar to the Jester from D&D, Darkest Dungeon. Why did I put the other T? Just DD, right? That's essentially what Melody seems like to me. Okay, so whenever you play a song, create a copper token equal to the number of other heroes in the game. That's pretty good, right? If you're, again, playing 4, so it's 3 copper tokens per song, per action. That's pretty insane, right? And then you use a lot of the Everfest cards to spend it. I'm sure she'll have some other ways to spend it herself. Jinglewood, Smash Hit. Once per turn, pay 3. Target opposing hero chooses to create a Might, Quicken, or Vigor token, and you create a copper token. Go again. Interesting. Might. Is Might new? I think Might's new, right? Courage is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so I think Might's new. Quicken and Vigor. I'm going to assume that Might is going to be similar to Courage, except just not on weapons, just straight up damage increase. And then attack, when this hits, destroy it. Interesting. So last resort, I guess, to push some damage. It is 0 for 2, so that's kind of nice. And then Song, create a Quicken token under each other hero, right? So you don't create under you. So these are definitely support style cards, right? Really a better nod at PvE than anything else, right? Because these are just way more useful in PvE. Yes, it's good for, you know, taking attention away from you in a UPF setting. No applicability to Blitz, right? Why would you just want to buff your opponent? But PvE, this would really shine. And then we have each other hero gains +1. Each other hero creates Vigor. Each other hero creates Might. And each other hero draws a card. Each other hero puts an attack action card from their graveyard on the bottom of their deck. Cool. So yeah, just full-on support. Interlude. Choose a hero. The next time they would be dealt damage this turn, prevent 3 of that. If you prevent damage to another hero this way, create a copper token. So first line doesn't have other, so you can choose yourself, so you can use it to prevent your own damage or damage towards you, but then you don't get the copper token. The copper token is only if you use it in a support situation. And then we have final act. When this stacks, it gets +X, where X is twice the number of cards in all pitch zones. Interesting. You sort of need some way to set that up then, right? So the idea is, no, it's an attack, because I was going to say you play it on someone else's turn, but you can't even do that, right? So you need to essentially, you know, use something like the Mechanologist, right, where you're getting everyone else to pitch in response and attack with it. It would almost seem like this kind of would have been cooler as an instant, right? Something you could play at any point. So your opponent plays a big turn where they've, pitched a bunch of cards, and they've forced an opponent to also pitch a bunch of cards, and then you come in for your final act. Interesting. It feels like this might be a bit hard to get off. And then we have Encore. Return a Bard, attack action card from your graveyard to your hand. Go again. Attack action, so chain it, I guess, right? Just give this go again. There's lots of equipment to do that, and then use Encore to play it twice. Interesting. And then Reverent, the Civic Protector. Reverent is inspired by one of the most common house rule variants we've seen out there in the UPF community, being able to defend other players, right? So being able to block for them and use your cards for, support. So they're actually making that legal, but through a hero specifically. Around him, Reverent is the bastion of fairness and order, the moderator of advancements on others, and Reverent's watch, civic duty shall be upheld, else shall he lay down the law. Pretty cool. So we have, you may have any number of chivalry in your deck. Whenever you protect another hero, create a might token. So yeah, again, I'm going to assume that's ways to just buff your attack, especially with lay down the law. Looking down here, it's going to be a huge hit, I can already tell. We have Hammer of the Havenhold. Once per turn, 3 attack. If you have a chivalry in your pitch zone, this gets +1. Bastion of Duty has protect, so you can use it to defend someone else. And then Temper. Civic Peak. Whenever this defends another target hero, draw a card. Wait, what? You may defend any hero attacked by an opponent with this. When this defends, another target hero draws a card. Sorry, comma, right? So it's not when this defends another hero, but when you use this to defend, you can have another hero draw a card. So again, more of a PVE setting in that case, right? If this had protect on it, that would kind of be cooler. But yeah, right. Definitely seems like this is setting up for PvE. Melody and Reverent being tank support, and then we just bring a Kano for damage or something like that, right? Would be a pretty good setup for PvE. So it does seem like PvE is definitely in the pipeline. Hopefully next year, fingers crossed. Civic Duty, same thing as the Peak, but for Vigor, Might, and Quicken. Cool. So yeah, defend and then support, buff someone else. Get them on your side, tag team, and yeah, you and Melody stick it out. Beat everyone else, and then you just wail on Melody because they're a bard and you're a guardian. That's not very chivalrous, but we'll see. And then lay down the law. Tower. If this has 13 or more attack, non-equipment cards get -1 while defending this, right? So you really want to stack it up. I'm going to, assume that's what Might is going to do, is just allow you to buff your weapon up. Sorry, not your weapon, your attack up like crazy. So they'll probably just stick around until you play something huge. Interesting to see. I'm curious if they've been spoiled on the Reddit or anything, because they're not included here. Right, let me look that up quickly. So I can find chivalry, but not the might token. So still curious on that. So chivalry just allows you to protect any other hero. So yeah, you may defend any hero attacked by an opponent with this. It's just guardian block. I'm not crazy. That's throwing me off. Not a defense reaction, not an instant, not anything playable. Just guardian block, not even an aura. And you can have as many as you want in your deck. If this is just free to play, you may defend any hero attacked by an opponent with this. Any hero, so you can defend yourself. you just run, 20 of these and have half your hand always be stall / just pitch into lay down the law. And whenever you protect another hero, create a might token. Any number. All right, that's definitely something I'm gonna have to try. Just huge, just every turn, chivalry. Hopefully Might is going to do what I expect it to do. All right, and then lastly we have Ira, right? But reimagining, sort of. Some new cards, definitely. Okay, so Ira's bridge between learning flesh and blood and sitting around the table. Ira welcome decks are the best way to learn. We're excited to reveal a new and improved Ira welcome deck. Interactive tutorial that makes it easier. Oh. Sorry, but this is a new and improved Ira deck nonetheless. Little game stores who order around the table will also be shipped free of charge a carton of Ira welcome decks to pass through to new players wanting to give Fab a try. So I assume she'll be part of the 4-pack, but then they're also getting extra Ira welcome decks to pass through. So this is going to be the most common deck, which is interesting in terms of pricing on the new cards and stuff like that. But, I'll leave that to some other people to discuss. and then while stocks last. So yeah, so this will only be for, you know, a certain window while the actual sets come out, not sets, the decks come out, you know, the initial release. But we have Mask of Three Tails. Destroy this. Draw a card, activate this ability only if you hit 3 or more times this combat chain. Pouncing Paws. Destroy this, create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. And Mewling Key. When this hits, if Crouching Tiger was the last attack this combat chain, deal 1 to each opposing hero. 1 for 5 is pretty nice, though it doesn't have go again. And when this attacks the next Crouching Tiger you play, this combat chain gets +1. So you do Growl Crouching Tiger into Mewling Key, which is a pretty easy combo compared to, you know, some of Katsu's and Benji's. But altogether, I'm pretty sure these are just going to be taken and stuck in Crouching Tiger Benji to really just amp him up. So I'm interested to see what, you know, comes of that, right? Especially with some other cards that pop up in the Ari deck. And then Bitter Thorns, that's old anyway. Okay, then we have the Prep School, which is just a tutorial, right? Professor Decks debut with the new Evo equipment, which are the core of the next booster set. Bright Lights, how it works as a perfect pathway, yada yada. Oh, Sealed Deck, Booster Draft, or the new casual format. Wait, so is 3-pack Crack Shuffle Play not replacing Draft? I'm very confused. Shouldn't this just be Sealed and Crack Shuffle Play? And even then, the Sealed is the new sort of Sealed? Interesting. 3-pack, skips deck construction, jump straight into the fun part, playing great games, simply crack 3 packs, move tokens equipment, shuffle the rest together, choose your... Oh, I guess, yeah, that isn't really drafting. Right, so no, shouldn't it be Draft and Crack Shuffle Play instead of Sealed Deck? Right, Sealed Deck, this always confuses me. Sealed Deck to me is you bring a precon deck, right? A deck you've already made. But I'm pretty sure Sealed Deck is using a sealed box to make a deck. Anyway, it's never been easier to pick up and play Flesh and Blood, especially when you graduated from the Professor's class of Evo 101. So I'm assuming the Professor is going to do some videos on that. I'm pretty sure it might have said that up at the top. I just glanced over it. Then we have social play kits. We've always believed that one of the beautiful things about trading cards is how they appeal to different people in different ways. Alongside the release of the Round Table, we're excited to announce the first dedicated Flesh and Blood social play kits available free of charge to local game stores who run regular social play events. So these are now in conjunction with the Armory prize kits. Assuming that you can still use the Armory prize kits for social events, and then these are just an additive, right? So you can sort of decide, is your LGS, you know, going to be, you know, competitive heavy or social and casual heavy, which is pretty good. The flexibility is nice. Social play kits differ from the existing prize kits in that they are evergreen, not month specific. So I'm assuming they're going to be tied to more releases similar to this, where they release, you know, new decks, new blitz, new easier things to get into the game, and then have promos associated to that, right? They contain a variety of promos, 12 different promos in the case of the Melody kit, that can be used over a period of time that fits the needs of each individual store and community, right? So you could run a bunch, you could split up and then run, you know, social play kits over 3 months, 4 months, right? Have one every month, split up, have 3, something like that seems to be the go. Over the time, a store may get a second chance to offer their community each of the social play kits, which we believe will be well received due to the diversity of promos contained in the kits. Okay, so they're also going to be more frequent and / reprinted, unlike the Armory kit promos. So I guess they're reining it in because they are more accessible, right? So we're not going to see, you know, like the Flail of Agony or anything like that, where they're $20 to $40 promo cards. Interesting. And then further details on how to request on the retailer news page. Is it up? Can we read it? Probably not. Supply policy, convention support. No, I assume it'll pop up here and be another support form or something like that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, key dates. 29th of September. Right, so right when the pre-release starts, which is cool. You probably run both, right, at your Armory. Have a few tables set aside for casual players, new players to welcome them in. You know, maybe have someone from, you know, the actual Bright Lights pre-release event, someone who knows, you know, sit in, help them. You know, there's some pretty fun stuff you could do with this to really encourage, again, growth of the game. Shuffle Up and Play episode featuring will be Monday, October 2. So Shuffle Up and Play featuring Roundtable. So Shuffle Up and Play sounds to me like, well, I was going to say using the Crack Shuffle Play, but it's not. It's just shuffle up a deck and play. And then is it worth to buy? I would assume it's the Professor's. Okay, product code TCC. 4 pre-constructed decks, each containing 40 cards, 1 rabbit for hero, 1 weapon for equipments and token cards, Collectible weapons for the Professor Melody and reprint. So I assume Ira is the usual weapon that's in the normal welcome deck. I forget what it is, the katana, right? So no cold fall variant or no different variants. Surprised they didn't give her a new weapon, right? Something just to make it a bit easier. Still, right, her decks are highly more accessible, so understanding that they're not sticking a cold fall in there, right, because it'd just be completely devalued. One rubber playmats with zones, nice. Packaged inside a reusable storage box, awesome. And then designed for Ultimate Pit Fighter, but secretly PVE. I'm pretty sure we all know that, right? Everyone but the professor is really PVE orientated, right? Civic protecting everyone from the PVE boss, and then Melody supporting everyone. And then what else? Especially because Melody's other attack, right? The final act. If you can, convince other people to pitch stuff, you really get this a lot stronger, right? Have them pitch for a bunch of instants, or just different ways to help you, and then you use final act to finish off the boss, right? Definitely more PvE orientated. These two, where are we? And then pricing, right? So they are a bit more expensive than the usual Blitz, although it's been some time since we've had 4, right? They've usually been 6s or 3s ever since Tails, right? I'm trying to look up at my sets. So DV didn't have any, Uprising was only 2, and Outsiders was 6. So it's kind of hard, right? I mean, divided by 4, 25 is a bit higher, because usually they go about 20 here in Australia, sometimes 18. Usually 18 is actually around the mark. So yeah, a little bit higher, but obviously you get all these other goodies. So I'm surprised it's not much higher. So cool. Yeah, definitely looking forward to picking these up. Grab 2, one for my shelf and then one to open. Mainly these 2 heroes, right? Again, not big on mech. The new cards for Ira, because I do like Ninja, right? I like Crouching Tiger. Take them out, stick in a Benji deck. And then, yeah, PvE. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Right, first thoughts, first look. How do you feel? Right, excited? I am pretty much more interested in these 2 than the Professor. Not that Professor isn't cool, right? Base is kind of goofy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya.